In this session, we are going to see variable control operation by using surface method and tool axis as related to vector option. So this is my workpiece where I have considered this part as my input. This is my raw material. The pinkish color block is my raw material. Then this is my chip. This you need to consider. Once you consider all these, you need to go for creation of operations. Right now, I am showing you all the operations which are there in NXCAM. Once we complete all the operations, then we go for create operation. There are two methods for blade machining. One is by using normal multi-axis operation. The other is mill multi-blade that we can see in future. Right now I will take mill multi-axis. Once again I will take variable control operation. Here method I will take mill finish. And I am going to create a tool. Already I have created. I can select that tool. If you are not created, then you need to go for creation. Select a tool. For these type of structures, it is better take ball mill. I will keep ball mill diameter as 6, flute length 6, and total length is 12. If you want to give some taper angle, if it is there in your tool, then you need to mention that. For this, if you want to define a shank, why as this length is very small, you need to define a shank and you need to mention the dimensions of that. The lower diameter will be 6, the upper diameter will be whatever there in your tool, you need to mention. Here I have taken lower diameter as 6, upper diameter as 12, the length I will give as 25. You can see that type of shank is going to create. So this additional step is there that I don't want, I will remove. Suppose if you are doing any blade machining and other thing, we always prefer to keep holder so that whenever there is a tilt, it should not get touch with the holder. I will use this holder. If it's okay to you, then keep. Otherwise, if you have any BT40, BT30, any type of holder if you are having, then you need to import in the assembly environment. You need to specify from this solid body. After specifying this solid body, you need to extract. So then automatically it will create a folder. It's a one-time activity. Whenever you export to the library, next time onwards you can browse it from library. Browsing is nothing but retrieve tool from or tool or holder from library. Export you can understand, but import is nothing but retrieve. So once you specify all this tool assembly, give tool number. If you specify tool number as 2, you will get in output T2. H value you want to, then you have to keep it in adjust register. Once it is done, hit OK. Already we have specified part, that's why it is showing faint. If you are interested to select the cut area, you can select. If you are using this operation for semi-finish, then keep some part stock like 0.2, 0.1. If you are directly finishing, then keep this part stock as 0. In drive method, I will keep surface area, go for edit and specify the dry geometry. Here my dry geometry will be this one. As I said, continuous change should be there, otherwise it will not get selected. It will give alarm. So I have selected this area. After this I need to show cut direction in which I want to cut. I will select this will be my direction. Then we need to check whether this metal is inside or outside. Yeah, it's outside. If it is, sometime if it shows inside, then you need to flip the material from here. In this scenario, we don't want to use cut pattern as zigzag. We want continuous motion in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction whenever it is needed. So that time I will change it to helical. So if you use helical, then one entry, one exit will be there. And step over, you need to specify little bit more values so that you can generate easily. Once you specify step over, you need to see that display contact points, and it will give you a vectors which will help you to understand how exactly it has selected. You can zoom and see how exactly it is showing. Then at the end, after generating entire toolpath, you can go for fine step overs so that you will get appropriate finish. Sometime if you are machining a sharp edges from initial, it has to, it should not start, it has to start from little bit downward. So you need to give value -2 percentage. So it will start from -2 percentage. Then if you want to extend at the end of the operation, then you need to specify a little bit bigger value. In this example, I will take 101 percentage. -2 is enough. Say for OK. And it's in percentage. Always keep in mind, not in value. Here I will give fine value as 33, as already I did this machine on machine cutting. In projection vector, I will keep tool axis. So I will not touch anything other than that. Then if you are willing to give check stop, you can mention it. And as this is a finishing operation, sometimes you don't want to consider in process workpiece, then you can keep none. Tool axis, I will take it as relative to vector. The name itself indicates relative to the direction which we are mentioning. Once you click on relative to vector, you need to specify in which direction this vector will be. You can see those blue color lines which will help you to select those orthogonal direction. If it is non-orthogonal, you need to draw a line, then you need to consider as a vector. In this scenario, my z direction is input for this. I will specify that by selecting those preview which is shown. Lead angle, I will keep it as 0 for this scenario, this component. Lead angle is not needed. I will go directly for tilt angle. As I early said, this I have already machined on machine, so I will keep -20 degree. So it is all depend on your limits and the length of the component. In avoidance, I will keep report collision. Whenever there is a collision, it will give me a message like there is a collision. The one who reads carefully can keep this report collision. If someone is not that much focused on the messages which software shows, then it is better they have to go for retract. So whenever there is a collision, automatically software will get retracted. In some cases, if you want to tilt and retract, that also you can use. It will use some additional tilt whenever it is getting collided. So I will keep as report collision itself. In clearance, by default, you will get 3 mm clearance from tool holder and tool shank 3 mm. If you want to alter, you can change these values. Sometimes you don't want to keep 3. You can change it to 2, 1, depending on your need. Always try to keep this check for non-cutting collision so that whenever there is a collision, it will avoid the collision. It will be a safer. So keep a best practice that check for non-cutting collision should be toggled on. After this, you need to mention feed and speed. I know the feed of this particular component will be 5836 and feed will be 1634. These values are depending on which type of cutter you are using and cutter manufacturer also it depends. If you know the values of surface speed and feed per tooth, you can give. Otherwise, if you know spindle speed and feed rate, later you need to keep calculate. Then ultimately it will calculate feed per tooth and surface speed. Sometime if you don't want to have rapid output as G0, you have to change the G0 value to G1. Whenever you change, you need to specify the feed at which it has to come is during rapid motion. So I will mention 5000 for this example. Whatever you are getting in more, those are in percentage. And you can change that percentage to per minute whenever it is needed. So during first cut, how much you want step over, how much you want to keep the movement speed, feed, those things you can give it from more option. Then I will go for strategies. If material is more, then I will keep multiple depth option toggle on and I will mention part stop offset. So for example, 2 mm material is there, then I will specify part offset as 2 and increment value as 0.1. Every time it will go 0.1 up to 2 mm. In this example, I am taking directly finishing, so no need to keep multi-depth cut option. So you need to toggle off. Whenever you see any type of collision checking, always keep toggle on so that it will help you to avoid the collisions. In non-cutting moves, in transfer rapid, I will keep automatic in approach. In departure also, I will keep automatic. Sometime in transfers, I will change the clearance option if it is needed. Use common, it will be by default there. Sometime I use cylinder, bonding cylinder. I will create a plane whenever it is needed. Whenever you are doing a precision machining, that time tolerance plays a very important role. You have to set tolerance in method and tolerance. Here you can change Intol and Outtol. Once you set all the parameters, go for toolpath generation. Once you generate, you will see those toolpath. You can verify. If you want to verify with the 3D dynamic, you can verify by playing. So here, in this case, I will use replay to see the toolpath motion. So if you are using this toolpath visualization while doing, tool will rotate. In actual practice, if it depends on all your machine combination. Head table combination, then head also moves, table configuration, table will rotate and your spindle is in a fixed position. It all depends on your machine configuration. For this example, I'm going to take a machine simulation and that to be table configuration. You need to go to machine tool, machine tool view, on generic machine. You need to click. So once you click on generic machine, go for edit, retrieve machine from library, then take milling. In this, I will take simulation 08 FANUC, which is table configuration with XYZ AC movement. Says part mount junction I will use. I will make sure exactly wherever I want, I can fix the component. So once I place the component, I need to say OK, so that this machine will get added successfully and spindles are getting, pockets are created. You can simulate in this view or you can simulate in any other view. Right click on your toolpath which you have generated, go for toolpath, verify. No, sorry, simulate. So then it will come in a window of machine tool simulation where in this example I am taking toolpath based simulation. I can see the details of collision and other thing in this detail. You can set simulation settings where you can have this display IPW option on, and in collision you need to click on this check for collision, of machine colliding, and say OK. So once you do that, and here also you can see there are parameters like hide collision violation, hide collisions, hide gauges, hide singularities. If it is dark color, then it is active. If you remove that dark color box, then it is inactive. Go for toolpath verify. Let's say play. So how exactly it moves on machine? Similarly, we can see in this NC simulation. This will always help you to find collisions with the non-cutting parts. Sometime if it is deep inside, you can see if whether it is holder is suitable or not. Then how to machine exactly you can see by using this NC simulation. Sometime you want to trace this path, then you need to turn on in toolpath, display tool trace or path segment selection. You can see that toolpath trace is getting created wherever the cutting moves are forming. Like that you have to do, and also in execution you can see the values of XYZ and AC. So there C is continuously rotating and A is minus 20 degree with the component as we have given tilt angle. Sometime you want to see the how exactly it moves. That time you can use this execution view or you can use machine status. It will help you to understand whether this limited violated or not. That also you can see in.
Thank you for watching complete video. If you learned something, then like, share and subscribe.